Happy Central Summer, dear Astro friends. It's Melanie with the Astro Weather today on August 7th, 2025 for the week. So this week is quite charged. And of course, as probably most of you are aware of, we are entering the center of the Lion's Gate, of the 8-8 Lion's Gate tomorrow. A bit more about that in a second, but also quick preview what's coming down here this week, and what I'll be talking about is also the Aquarius Leo full moon on August 9th. Mars having freshly entered Libra, also activating quite a bit, stirring up the pot, especially in the first days, especially into the full moon. And yeah, let's get going. So, what's with the Lion's Gate? What's with the significance astrologically? I was also asked. Yes, each center of the fixed sign, so in other words, here in this case, central Leo, which is also central summer, is called a gate of power. With central Leo, we have the gate of love. And with central Scorpio around Halloween, we have the gate of power. With central Aquarius around Imbolc, we have the gate of freedom. And with central Taurus, which is of course Beltane, we have the gate or power of nature. So these gates are opening up, and now we are in this full-on summer glow. We're also celebrating Lammas if you're in a Celtic world, or Lunasat, and all of that is about center of the season where energy concentrates in a powerful way. But what's it got to do also with celestial events? So each year, around 8-8 actually, the the brightest star, SIRIUS, in the constellation of Canis Major, which is the great dog, that's why it's also called the dog star, is rising before the sun. Sirius is not in Leo. Sirius is behind Leo. It's in Cancer, pretty much central Cancer, but we can see it when we're in Cancer season, so it takes the Leo season for Sirius to show up just like a morning star, just like a Venus morning star showing up at dawn. And what can that look like? Let me show you in the, it's actually a really interesting connection here. I want to show you in the chart of the full moon that's coming up. So here is the full moon in Aquarius and Leo. So when you have that sunrise energy, in other words, here the horizon, right, is the horizontal line, and the sun is just below the horizon, hasn't come up yet. Cancer is up, and there would be Sirius. But at this point, we also have Jupiter and Venus together there. So that's really extra special this time at this 8-8 Lion's Gate. It's not always the case because Jupiter has a 12-year cycle and Venus can be in Cancer, in Leo, in Virgo while we are in Leo season. So we're having a reinforced Sirius energy here. And Sirius is also about the enlightened and the liberated self, right? So liberation is a big theme also for the countries that celebrate their birthday, especially in mid-Cancer, especially the US and also France, right? So their sun is close to Sirius. And now Sirius is rising. So that is also what's going on every year, and now again at the 8-8 Lion's Gate. So all of that contributes, of course, to the power of love, to the power of the heart, and additionally, Mercury has been retrograde, is still retro until the 11th of August, but Mercury is now also behind the sun. So that happened, that shift into a new Mercury when Mercury basically is now behind. Mercury retro is further back in Leo than the Sun is since July 31st. And with that shift, with the new Mercury, we're having more ease to have like a conscious awareness of what's going on in the mind, rather than being so driven by the mind, being in the mental head sphere. And now we can be more in the heart sphere and speak from the heart, and let the mind be the messenger but not the driver, right? So that of course also contributes together, like Mercury retro also in Leo, right, contributes all to heart consciousness. And that's beautiful. That's exactly what we need right now, and in this world of so much conflict. And speaking of that, a few words about Mars, freshly in Libra, or just published an article for that. You can find the article and all the others on my blog, also down below in the links, if you listen to this on YouTube. And so what's with Mars in Libra? Since yesterday, the 6th of August until September 22nd, Mars has a 2-year cycle. So the last time Mars was in Libra was actually August, September, again, 2023, until early October, I believe. So what's really striking about this is the events of October 7th, right? Israel and the Gaza war that ensued since then, and it's still going on and coming to this really brutal and dehumanizing, inhumane head that really creates a lot of outrage in humanity, that this cannot be supported. This is totally disproportional to the original occasion. And what justifies a genocide, basically, right? Nothing does. And so all of this is coming up and coming down now. And I, in the article for Mars in Libra, I reposted the chart of Israel and a link to that previous article for the Ring of Fire solar eclipse on October 14th, 2023, just a week after. Not only that, it was also that solar eclipse, new moon, right? So an release eclipse where lots of karma was basically poured out with that. That not only was that time-wise just a week after October 7th, it was also, the eclipse was also on the ascendant of Israel. Israel has Libra ascendant in its chart from 1948. And so you can see the activations of that time, but also now Mars will reactivate every 2 years, right? The ascendant of Israel. And more themes are going on there, especially Uranus in Taurus will once more in January, February be on the Israeli sun, end of Taurus. And so Taurus is a settler, Taurus is about territory, and it's about economy as well. And Uranus is very disruptive, and also it is an awakener, right? So it's a wake-up call for all of us. So this is the first Uranus in Taurus for the whole history of Israel from 1948, right? Because it's an 84-year cycle. So this is super relevant. And you can find some information and the chart of Israel in that article. I am not going on about it here because this is about the Astro Week, but definitely want to give you that pointer. And of course, so much more information about Mars in Libra, especially relevant if you have Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Mars even, or planets, right? Then you definitely get a boost from Mars, but always with a caveat that Mars is per se not comfortable in Libra. Mars is the warrior that rules Aries, and also the mountaineer, the marathon runner that is exalted in Capricorn, right? in Libra, the energy can go a lot into, so much energy can go into this whole negotiation and weighing of choices position, right? And but Mars can also get us off the fence, right? And Mars can in Libra can really mobilize us in all these issues around fairness, justice, peace, right? So there is a good support from Mars actually for what's going on regarding all the wars in the world. And now let's go into the full moon that's coming up, into the full moon energy. We're already in that energy. You might have seen the moon already, pretty gibbous, close to full out in the sky these evenings. And the actual full moon will be exact on August 9th at 12:56 a.m. So in other words, close to midnight, and the night from the 8th to the 9th, the Lionsgate night also, will be the most exact full moon night. Of course, the night after is still relevant, but even more so before, especially since the energy, the moon will already go into Aquarius, where she will be full this evening, today on the 7th at 6:18 p.m. The moon will already go into Aquarius, and then soon afterwards we'll meet Pluto before fullness. So here is the chart. What's going on with all that? Here is the moon having passed Pluto at that time, right? Already ahead, in opposition with the sun in Leo, both central Leo, central Aquarius, fixed signs, very strong concentration of energy. It's a lot about power. It's about power of love versus about the love of power, which can be a distorted Leo Lionsgate, and also the power of the elite would be also distortion. It's about the power of the heart, it's about the power of love, and here it's about the power of humanity and of freedom with Aquarius, right? And this full moon activates, it's the second, no, it's actually the first full moon that activates Pluto fully in Aquarius, because Pluto entered Aquarius last November, right? So, and now it's the first full moon with Pluto in its 2 decades cycle till 2043, 44, right? So this is super relevant. This is the first time when we're seeing what's coming to fruition. This is the full moon, right? What's coming to fruition around the transformation, the re-empowerment of humanity and of our shared and free humanity. That is very apropos this. So also this full moon will be in T square. What is this? Like a 90-degree angle, right? Perpendicular to the full moon. T square to Lilith in Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto. So again, another Pluto-Scorpio theme. Lilith in Scorpio since end of January, and since end of March, so end of March this year until winter solstice, she's in Scorpio, and Lilith is the energy of the wild and unconditioned self. All right, so it's a lot about unconditioning ourselves, shedding layers of conditioning, maybe of from a Scorpio side, of all sorts of repressed emotional stuff, which can relate to shame, to guilt, to everything that we rather hide than show, but to come out of these layers. It's like shedding the skin of a snake, the snake shedding her skin, and we are in a year of the snake, right? So this is all very supported, and whatever had been not so empowering around these themes that you might have kept quiet or been in the closet about and been hiding maybe from yourself. this is really where things come out now, right? Because the T square apex, in this case Lilith, right, is where the outlet is, right? So a big transformation here of what's going on with hidden agenda and so on. And that can be relevant in so many ways, of course, for us personally, but also in relationships and societally. Then we have this week, actually in the chart, you can see Mars freshly in Libra, right? So we have with the full moon on August 9th, or starts on August 8th in the evening already, and then August 9th and 10th, 8 to 10, we have strong alignments from Mars freshly in Libra. It will be opposite Saturn and Neptune, both retrograde and super close in early Aries. So that's one theme. And then Saturn will be also, Mars will be also in trine, air trine with Uranus in early Aquarius, and in air trine with Pluto in early Gemini. Here Uranus in early Gemini, and Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, where Pluto is, and Mars is creating this grand air trine, right? So it's a grand air trine with these two slow moving ones, and it's an opposition. So all together it's actually a kite configuration, which is super rare and very auspicious. This is the spine of the kite. And what's going on with that? So I will mark that in the chart before I put it into the newsletter for the description, the blog article, the description of the full moon, to make it even clearer. So what's going on with that kite? A kite is a directional energy, right? So there's opportunities that are sitting there, which is like that grand trine, and at the same time it has a direction. A direction is here in this case to Saturn and Neptune in early Aries, and this is a great direction because it's all about transition into a new era. And it also has a motor, and literally that works also well for Mars. So what motivates our humanity at this point to really move into a whole new way of being? It is peace, fairness, justice, all of that, right? And now we're having also here these two wings, you could say, or these two support points. One is Pluto in early Aquarius, and this is, of course, the transformation, the evolution of our humanity. It is happening. And the other one is Uranus in Gemini. And so Uranus is a disruptor. Gemini has to do with information, with news, right? So there's a lot of independent Uranus news is out there reporting what the mainstream wouldn't. So this is all part of why humanity is waking up and not being just kept asleep by the old empire. And so this is all really auspicious and powerful full moon. Then we have also coming up with a full moon and catalyzed with her Venus in Cancer meeting Jupiter. A super sweet, auspicious energy exact on August 11th. So Venus, Jupiter will be both also together, as I said, with Sirius in the morning sky. Exact on August 11th, but you can already see them these days getting closer to each other. And what's with Venus and Jupiter? This is especially in Cancer, right? This is a very loving, compassionate, caring energy. We care for humanity and the human family, and we care about the children. And so may that love be so much stronger than all these war propaganda and war machines, right? The big juggernaut. And may this be really the energy being dedicated to more freedom, more safety, more humanity. So let me share a few words about the moon this week. And yeah, it's been, the video hasn't gotten too long despite all these energies going on. So we have the moon still in Capricorn today, Today's the 7th, until the evening. So the Capricorn energy is very grounded. It's very, pragmatic, gets the work done, and it's a great time to really complete things, especially things you want to get done before the full moon or before the 8 Lions Gate. And it's also like a grandmother moon energy. It's about ancestors and elders, and also about not being too hard on ourselves or others, right? Because Capricorn has standards and can bring out judgment. And then the moon goes into Aquarius, where she will be full. So Aquarius moon all day tomorrow, from tonight, right? And then actually this evening the moon in Aquarius will meet Pluto. So this is a big shift that we'll experience in terms of getting to the heart, to the soul, to the spirit, to the essence of what's at stake at this point. And what has that got to do with our community, with our circles, with the greater human community, with the future of our world, future of humanity, future of the planet? What's the vision here, right? And what's going on with systems to really feel into that? How systems can be empowering or disempowering, and not feeding the disempowering systems anymore, rather cultivating and co-creating sustaining systems, and systems that are liberating and powerful. So also a big theme for the Aquarius full moon. Then the moon will be full, as I said, on Saturday, just after midnight on the 9th at 12:55. What's okay? Okay, 12:56 a.m. Then waning, still in Aquarius until almost midnight Saturday. So Saturday is still quite an Aquarian moon day and quite the full moon day. So all about celebration, because of Leo, right? Celebration in community, meeting friends, being together, co-creating, and a better world. And then the moon goes into Pisces shortly before midnight Saturday, Sunday. My times are always relating to Pacific Standard, in this case daylight. Then all day Sunday, the moon in Pisces. All day Monday as well. So Pisces being about, see another thing on Monday I need to talk about. So Pisces being about connection, flow, ease, and maybe literally being in the water, letting go, releasing what has accumulated, what has been overwhelming. And this is right after the full moon. The full moon is like also a full harvest, and an outpouring comes from that. It's very Aquarian, actually. And this is all about love and compassion with Pisces. Additionally, the North Node is now in Pisces, which the moon will meet. So this is all about better vibrations, receiving, asking for help, connecting, rather than always being from the Virgo side, being that do-it-yourself, self-sufficient, I'm the doer, right? We are all one web of life. Then we have the moon entering Aries. Let's stay with the moon. Okay, the moon enters Aries on in the early morning of Tuesday the 12th. Will be in Aries on Wednesday the 13th. So that's as long as our Astro week goes. And the Aries energy in combination with the Leo sun is very spirited. There's a lot of action. It's great for adventure. It's also great for new approaches, doing something brave and exciting. And the moon in Aries, though, will also meet Saturn and Neptune. So, and will oppose Mars in Libra. So it's definitely not boring. It's about choices, in terms of the Libra side, but it's also about authenticity. Aries is all about being authentic, showing up as you are, being facing also what's in front of you and not putting your head in the sand. Aries literally rules the head and rules going ahead and doing something rather than, yeah, this, that could happen. Shall I stay or shall I go? Right? Kind of thing that Libra would. We might see that polarity, that dichotomy. But in the end, it's Saturn and Neptune also moving now retrograde in early Aries, but eventually will both go into Aries. So we are on the way to the new, right? And having said that, they're both retro, and we are now also in the first of 3 retro record seasons of the year. The most planets retro have been in last year's and again this year from mid to end of summer. In this case, already started when Chiron went retro on the 30th of July. Now we are having, just as you see in the chart, 5 planets retrograde. And so this is a record time until August 11th when Mercury goes out of retro, and then it's, so to say, only 4, but still 4. More to come in November is the peak season, actually. November is when we have eventually 6 planets retrograde. But that continues. The whole trend of 4, 5, 6 planets retro is going on now, August until end of November. And so it's a great time also to review things, to backtrack rather than forging fully ahead, examining also the outcome and the implications of what has started or what you have initiated. And yeah, that's especially relevant for the early Aries energy. So, as I said, Moon in Aries will meet Saturn and Neptune. And so that can be on Tuesday the 12th, bit of an agitated energy, at the same time maybe feeling blocked and held back to what you actually need in terms of going ahead and doing something fresh and new, depending on how you relate to Aries, right? So you might rather be on a caution side. Then that Saturn is helpful for you, at least in your perception of this is too premature, right? We need to examine that situation, taking all sorts of things into account. This is what Saturn would do before actually stepping forward. Then, and Saturn Neptune being together now, still super relevant in the month of August, because from early September on, September 1st on actually, Saturn goes back into Pisces. So this is still this Aries energy. We need a whole new approach when it comes to conflict and war. And Saturn says less is more. So stop this war, stop this conflict before it gets totally out of control. With Neptune, it is it's like an avalanche effect, which already is the case and is so chaotic. So Saturn is monitoring that, and that's really good. So retro record, yes. Then speaking of retro, the one piece, of course, that I forgot before is that Mercury goes out of retro on the 11th. I mentioned it a bit, but here it is. Also, one of the highlights this week, you might feel, sigh of relief, everything back to normal. No, it's not about that, right? It's about what have we learned during the Mercury retro phase, especially about the heart versus the mind, the heart versus the ego, heart versus the narcissists out there or in here, and how can we actually speak from the heart and to the heart. The Mercury retro turnaround is integrating on August 17th. That's when the so-called post-retro storm meaning like this is a swirling U-turn. The energy is not quite going forward yet, but sitting there. When that integrates on the 17th, things are more, it's a clearer energy. But the turnaround is actually the turnaround phases when Mercury goes into retro and out of retro. They are so called, they are so to say the hottest phases of the Mercury retro stage. People always think like, yeah, it's retro, now it's retro. No, actually, when Mercury goes retro, and is in the retro motion, it goes a bit faster again. But when it's super slow, because the swift messenger doesn't want to be slow but needs to stop and check in, because what's this, what's with these news, what did you just say, right? What did they just say? And this is very apropos Mercury stationing, and we can learn so much sometimes through these so-called glitches. And so also a questioning, reading between the lines without reading something into it, but really using our intuition and trusting that synchronicities are never just random. They are messages that we need to pay attention to, and they're gifts. So this is it for the Astro Week going until August 13th, next week, 12th, 13th, and wishing you a beautiful summer full moon, second full moon of summer, central summer, Lionsgate full moon, as here the chart shows, right? If you'd like to read up about all these events, you can find them on my blog for Mars freshly in Libra, for the Lionsgate, for the full moon to come. And of course, you're most welcome to subscribe to my newsletter, which comes out via email for every full moon and new moon. And shoot me a message, and I'll put you on the list. And also, yay, this is a celebratory month, because literally on August 14th is the 25th anniversary of my astrology practice here in Victoria and out of Victoria. So this is awesome. Next week is the celebration, but all month my clients can benefit because I have a special on, whereas the longer you've been my client, the more discount you get, and it's special is underway. You're most welcome to join and save money while looking into your cosmic map and exploring what's going on. Wishing you well, and now the video turned out longer than I thought. Thank you for listening and for liking. If you do, spread it and do all the good things YouTube can connect us with. Cheers.